Welcome to the No Limits podcast, where breakthrough strategies in therapeutic education help neurodivergent children learn, connect, and grow in powerful new ways.
Hi, and welcome to the No Limits podcast. I'm Laura Jocelyn. I'm the owner of Ability Plus Therapy, the co-founder of No Limits Academy, and the co-founder of No Limits Method, which is an educational program. Today, we're here with Jared Leverington, who has also been a content creator for No Limits Method, a therapeutic educator, an amazing teacher at No Limits Academy, and now he is a pastor. So welcome, Jared.
Thank you.
Today we're going to start talking about how to empower your child, and how communication empowers your child, right? Jared, you've seen tons of kids in No Limits Academy that have come in and, they're just not engaged because people have been treating them like medical beings, right? They've taken care of their needs, and they maybe want to just make them happy, but there's a person in there. So tell us a little bit about your experiences of understanding, how do you get to that person? Because that's what the method's all about, is how do we understand someone that's just locked in?
Sure. Yeah. There's so much to describe what people see, and when all they have is a medical diagnosis. And unfortunately, it's the world that we live in, that when we see someone, and sometimes we'll call them glass coffin children, which means they're there, but they're not really there. They have the brain of a this many year old, or they don't understand what we're even saying. I don't know how many times I've had to shut that down in my classroom.
Yep.
Because number one, there is an intelligent human being sitting in front of us, listening to what you're saying about them. And so, you're doing in your mind what you think is making them happy, and yet you're saying that in front of them. No, that perception has to change. And so when we see a child, when I used to see a kid come in, I'm thinking of one specific one that just a student that seemingly has no expression whatsoever, and no understanding of what's going on in the room. And then to watch that child simply because somebody had faith in them, simply because somebody walked up to them and talked and looked them in the eyes and said, I believe in you. What's your favorite color? That's it. And then the patience to wait sometimes a few minutes and sometimes a year before the favorite color comes out, but it does come out. So I think and this is what I always tell people, okay, you want your child to be happy. You want to love your child. The richest form of love is to acknowledge their purpose, to give them the power of choice, and to allow their personality to grow.
That's voice.
And their voice, which is a part of their personality, right? Their voice may not ever come out of their mouth.
Yep.
And so you have to have faith. You have to have faith. It is a faith on that part. And believe me when I would say that for a person with a severe disability to be able to express, they have faith. They have to have faith to say, I've just got to get this out. And I don't think I've ever seen a student in my classroom that didn't have faith. They're there and they want to express, and they are soaking everything in. And what are they hearing? By and large, they're hearing negativity about their diagnosis, about what they're incapable of doing. No, when they hear the words no limits, when they hear you can do this, and this is part of what the No Limits method does, right? It's not this complex, special thing that you have to have a degree in. It really isn't. You have to have faith. You have to have faith in your child that they have an intellect, because they do.
Yeah.
They're human being.
Yeah.
And you have to have faith that they have an expression that they want to share with you, and a personality that will grow from that, and a voice that they can use, and that empowers them. And it just, there's joy in that. So once you start with that little bit of faith, and then you just use very simple things. Simple. The method is really so simple in the fact that it's really more about convincing you to have faith than it is about doing the stuff. But once you have both of those and you put them together, and of course I'm sure that we'll talk later about all the disciplines that go into that, but the application of it is so simple. It's so simple.
Exactly. And, I know that there was one came to mind while you were speaking was, we have to give kids with motor difficulties time. We have to give them technology. We have to give them the components. And that's what we teach you in the No Limits method. We teach you wait times. We teach you like how to reach that potential in your child, and that's really important. We're not just saying this is what you should do, we're not trying to guilt you out, we're really trying to like motivate you to say you can do, empower you to show the world how wonderful your child is, right? And where I know the world, because I lived it, I know the world around was telling me that your child can't, your child can't, your child can't, your child can't. And I'm telling you, don't listen to it, because you can just, neurotypical children, a lot of times they'll say you have a learning disability or you can't do this. Children that aren't neurotypical, that are really neurodiverse and autism, that have behaviors and things like, they just, it frustrates me because, parents are looking at a professional and saying, I'm going to buy in to this, right? You don't have to buy in. Like, you have to look at your child as an individual.
Well, then you're seeing one part of the picture. And I just want to say this too, that particular student I was talking about, this person who, if you can imagine in your own mind, that person, if you saw them, you thought, are they even here with us? Like, do they know? That same student today, and still keeping up with that student, rides a therapy bike and shares music and is reading and expressing words and answering questions in class through technology, even though they can't move their hands
and pick the
color. They can't move their lips, but they're doing it.
Yeah, and she picked the color of her room.
Like
she everybody wanted to paint it pink, and she didn't want pink, and she kept telling them purple. Like, that same child, it's
the personality's there. And God forbid that people just allow it to stay hidden. But it doesn't take a complex doctoral degree to get there. It just takes a little bit of understanding of what strategies work to draw that out.
Right. And, on the No Limits method, you were one of the content creators. You had the lesson plans that, even connected to Tobii Dynavox, which, their page sets where you can just download the content, right? Or if you don't have a Tobii, no worries. You can just print them out, and put them on a board and get them to start speaking to you, and in our communication portion, our therapists who are specialized in AAC just walk you through how you do that road of march, like, where do you start? Where, but at the very end, we want to empower those kids. Like you said, with the glass coffin, think about that in yourself. If you want, your child is so locked in, if they're nonverbal and they can't move, or they're autistic, they're so locked in, that's the frustration, right? And, I see kids that come from PPECs that literally, like, they're not engaged with, they're just taken care of. And PPECs are prescribed extended care facilities. And they just don't know how to do this. And I'm not okay with that. And they come here and they are like literal glass coffins. Like, it's like sitting there and no one has ever engaged with them. Right. And we watch them wake up. And that's pretty amazing to me, because if you think about it, you could be screaming inside that glass coffin and nobody's hearing you. Everybody's walking around going, oh, so sad. I'm so sad that they died. Like, I know that that's shocking, but it is shocking.
Well, it needs to be heard.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be heard, because you've got to perceive that, right? As a neurotypical person, to be like, that's my kid. He's locked in, or she's locked in. And how do I get him out? Or how do I get her out, right? And you don't have to come here to No Limits Academy. You literally have the method now. You can do it wherever you are, right? And you have all the resources, it's that commitment and time to understand that,
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and I would love to see even places like PPECs take the method and incorporate churches. I mean, our communities are full of places that could benefit our disabled community if they just understood how to have faith and change their perception. It's not hard.
Yeah. Well, that value is there too. The value of people that are disabled. And we just had the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. That's as old as my son, so I'm like, my oldest son who has cerebral palsy, I'm thinking that's not a long time. The year I gave birth was the year that this was happening. Well, this is so new. And I just was like, You know, why hadn't someone figured this out? Like, you know, a long time ago, you know, but we're here to help you.
Yes.
And we are here to show you the path of how to get that child unlocked, right? All these professionals and Ability Plus, speech therapist, occupational, physical therapist, for the last 20 years have been working on this. In the last 18, we've been working on it at No Limits Academy, right?
Yep.
I mean, to have a proving ground of that, we kind of know what we're talking about, you know, and it's like, and we're not shoving it down anyone's throat. What we're saying is it's up to you to be able to like look at this and say, you know, I want to know more. I want to do more. I want to make that difference in my life as a professional, as a parent, as, you know, anyone that would be ever working with a nurse, caregiver, administrators, you know, what is it that these kids need? Because that's how you like change the world, is like just one child at a time, and you can be the superhero in your child's life.
Yes. Yeah.